country. They try and monitor these things and see what your normal spending places are. And so if all of a sudden you're in another country, they might actually cut your card off. So it's a really good idea to call them ahead of time and try and alert them, but also to kind of get an idea from them what the best way of going about obtaining money and using your cards are from their perspective.
Exchanging money was fairly easy. When I got to the airport, I actually exchanged my money at the airport because it's a pretty good rate, and I actually just exchanged cash for euros in Europe. And other ways I would go to ATMs. There's ATMs all around Europe. It's in the cities. It's pretty easy to exchange money.
You should do it, and they recommended getting some money exchanged before you even went, because my bank would do it for free and I wouldn't pay a conversion fee. So I actually started with a bunch of money before I left. And additionally, they also told me with my debit card, it can be used as a debit or a credit card, but from their perspective, a debit card use incurred less fees. So it was really good to kind of talk to them.
I use ATM instead of local bank because I use Wells Fargo's debit card, so I can take money, withdraw money there, but with like 3% processing fee. It's not that big deal because I usually take like a lot of them, maybe a few €100 or a few thousand crown. So it's only like.
In order to budget your money in abroad, especially in a city like Paris, which is really expensive, we would try to go out to dinner for like maybe 3-4 days a week, and the other couple days we would actually get together, the whole group, and have like family dinners where we would go food shopping, and we would also buy snacks to keep with us, so that way we could save a lot of money.
When I was in Australia, I lived in a dorm, so we actually had a sort of dining hall, so my meals were covered. So I tried not to spend too much money out eating, just because I had already paid a fee to eat, and I wanted to save that money to travel and go and see other things and see attractions and all that. So it was really just trying to keep an eye on how much I had and what I wanted to accomplish, and if I knew I wanted to take a trip ahead of time, try and pay for it ahead of time, so that when the time came, I knew it was already prepaid and I didn't have to try and scramble to make the money.
People like to say that don't think of it in terms of dollars because then you always get ripped off. That's one thing I used to think, like whenever I got into a cab, you always just discuss the price when you get there. And if I always did it in US dollars, everyone's like, dude, you paid 5 times what you actually should. I was like, really? I paid the guy $5 for taking me 20 minutes in a cab ride. That's not that bad, right? Like, you can't think in exchange rates. They're just like, think that this is the currency and this is how much things cost.
So when you're packing to study abroad, I recommend leaving a lot of stuff behind. I was really worried I wouldn't be able to find my shampoo or my toothpaste. Everything's there and more.
Especially a lot of times your program will give you a recommended list of things to bring, but you end up not needing half the things that you think you'll need. So I try to leave it down to bare essentials.
What you really do need to bring is stuff for like all types of weather. Consider where you're going to travel while you're abroad and what seasons you're going to go through, because you're going to need that warm weather stuff even when you think you're going to be cold the whole time.
Okay, so for girls, I definitely recommend leaving your nice stuff at home, straighteners, curling irons, and blow dryers, because they'll blow with the voltage powers abroad. So there I just bought cheap hair dryer, and some of the girls, we shared like a straightener, curling iron. We would all pay in and we just rotate that throughout the house.
So less is more generally. That's how I go about packing.